people, welcome back to my channel. I am jeanevarose. If you're new, thank you so much for tuning in today. Here on my channel you can find all things related to dance, visuals, music, creativity, self-love, self-awareness, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in, and if you've already been a part of my channel, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's just get right into it as usual. So what we're going to talk about today is how to manage negative thoughts. So I'm going to provide like 5 tips and things and remedies that I believe will help and that I know will help you manage and basically combat your negative thoughts that we know can be super detrimental to our emotional well-being, to our physical health, to our mental health, and basically it affects our entire reality, because we know our thoughts do create our reality, the ones that we consistently choose and then create. So it's an amazing thing to choose to think different things, because then we create different outcomes. So number 1, the first way to combat negative thoughts is to reflect upon the negative thoughts that are triggering you and begin to reflect upon why they are even triggering you in the first place. Like these thoughts that are constantly and consistently coming through your mind, why are they triggering you? Reflect upon that and begin to go through the subconscious and beliefs that are connected to that belief in itself. Like for instance, if you have a belief that constantly comes in your mind that you're unworthy, instead of pushing that away, decide to reflect upon it and be like, well, why is this triggering me? Why do I believe I'm unworthy? Why do I believe all these things? And begin to unravel all of the subconscious layers that are creating this thought that is consistently and constantly trying to gain control over you and gain your power, because that's even why you just clicked on this video today. You don't want your negative thoughts to have more power over you than you, and this is what this is going to help. Just help you reflect upon those thoughts and then gut them like a fish. Well, I don't really go vegan. Never mind. Don't gut them like a fish. But you guys know what I'm saying. That was such like a vegan moment. I was like, oh my god, no, don't gut them like a fish. No. But no, really. Like, get in there and get out the grossness. Get out those subconscious beliefs that are connected to all these feelings of being unworthy, all these things from your childhood, from your past, from the way your family's treated you, your friends have treated you, bullying, or just some random instance. Like, you'd be surprised by how small something can be, but it can imprint on us so greatly, especially when we're children. It can imprint on us so greatly and affect us so deeply in our adult life if we don't take the time to reflect upon why that happened, why that was meant to happen, like what can I utilize from that to grow and to change, and also taking accountability but not full responsibility of that situation. If something bad has happened to you, you can take accountability for how you've let it affect you as time has gone on and progressed, and as you've become aware of it, that's now up to you to evolve and heal it. But something bad that has happened to you is not your fault. Being abused or anything like that, or assault or something like that, that's not your fault and something that you have to take responsibility for. You just have to take accountability for your part now in healing it and being like, you know what, I'm not going to let this minimize me. I'm going to let this help me grow into a more fuller version of myself. So that's basically what we can do by healing our triggers, our subconscious beliefs, is going in like putting your inspector glasses on. I wish I had glasses right now because I'd be so fire. But putting your inspector, glasses on, putting your coat on, and deciding to be your own psychologist and being like, I'm going to get into all these thoughts and I'm going to get through all these thoughts, because I now can see my triggers, I can see these negative thoughts, and I want to work through them. So that is tip number 1. So tip number 2. Simply switch your focus. Go take a walk outside. Go do some dancing. I know for myself, I love to dance, and even today I was having a little bit of a rough beginning, but then I was like, you know what, this is not going to define me. This is not going to be the tone for my day. I'm going to go dance. I'm going to go do a little workout. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to get myself in a different vibe. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself in a different vibe. Go watch a movie. Go play with your dog. Go call a friend. Maybe you just need to call a friend or family and just vent and just let your heart speak. Let your heart feel and just let it go and let yourself grow. Simply switching your focus will naturally, and I'm sure we've experienced this many times where we didn't even intentionally or necessarily want to switch our focus, but once we did, it's like, the emotions just naturally come off of you, and you're just like, I'm not in that reality. I may have been experiencing some sort of negativity or in deep thought or deep dark thoughts to say, but that's not my reality. And when I switch my focus, I remind myself of my true reality. So switch your focus. So that is tip number 2. So now tip number 3, which is one of my personal favorites. If you know me, you know I'm all about self-love. Self-love is the secret formula and key to all happiness and prosperity, I believe. So simply show yourself some self-love. Just soothe yourself. Give yourself a bath. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself some love. For me, I love to put my rose quartz over my heart and another rose quartz like over my eye and my third eye. And I just like to just sit there and just let myself just feel that healing energy, because it just feels so good to just love myself and just give myself some warm affection and just some genuine generosity of compassion for myself. And that's something beautiful that we can all do for ourselves. It's so beautiful to be able to have friends and family that you can call on, but it's also amazing to be able to soothe yourself and be like, you know what, I'm going to take a bath right now. I'm going to go wrap myself up in a fuzzy blanket. I'm going to tell myself beautiful affirmations about how beautiful my soul is, about how beautiful my mind is, about how this moment of negativity or darkness does not define me. Giving yourself that soothing love can just create a world of difference for yourself. You really can just get yourself in a different place and remind yourself why this situation does not define you and how much you truly deserve love. And when you give it to yourself, boo, that's when you feel your best. So soothe yourself is my tip number 3. So tip number 4, remind yourself that these negative thoughts that you're experiencing are just that, something you're experiencing. They are not your identity, and they do not have to define you. Negative thoughts that we allow to become beliefs are simply thoughts that we've allowed to just consistently go through our mind. Beliefs are just thoughts that we keep thinking. So if you believe so many negative things about yourself, it's because it's more likely that these negative thoughts have just consistently been playing through your mind. But it's important in those moments to remind yourself, and you can literally say to yourself, whether you say it to yourself in your mind or out loud, these thoughts are not my story. These thoughts are not my identity. These thoughts are not my truth. These thoughts are not the divine essence of my truth and of my soul and of my light and of my divine perfection. I get to choose who I believe myself to be, but at the same time, the truth of me will always be divine, amazing, beautiful, and wonderful. Even if I decide to live in that reality or not, that's up to me. That's a choice. But the truth is that those negative thoughts are not my identity. I get to choose and embody my identity. And I really wanted to make that as point number 4, because it's important that we remind ourselves that, hey, these negative thoughts are not me. They are not me. They are not me. And when you can create that boundary line literally for yourself between your thoughts that you don't want and the truth of who you are, they begin to literally look like you're inside of a box. This is just, an analogy. You're inside of a box, and those things are on the outside of the box, and you're just like, no, I don't want those inside my box, but I see that they're there. Let it be as simple as that. You see it, but hey, That's not my identity. I'm in this box. I'm going to be in my happy little space, in my happy little bubble, in my happy little box. And nothing that is not a part of that happy little bubble and that happy little box can go. You got to go. Just like that. Just like that. Just dust it away. Just dust it away. I like to use my feather. Just, you're gone. And that is tip number 4, to remind yourself who you really are, to combat those negative thoughts. And the last one, tip number 5, which is probably, if not the most important one, they're all super important, but simply, and it all kind of connects to all of them, simply change. If there are negative thoughts that are consistently occurring that you believe, or sometimes we have negative thoughts that they're only negative because we don't want to face the reality of them. We don't want to listen to those negative thoughts telling us that is a bad habit, those negative thoughts telling us this living situation isn't working for you, or this dynamic isn't working for you, or this consistent, even of listening to the negative thoughts, isn't working for you. Sometimes we don't even want to face that, so that in itself becomes a negative thought telling us, listen. So the tip that I have is to change. Make a change. If you're constantly having negative thoughts about a bad habit, maybe don't worry about the negative thought, maybe change the bad habit. If you're constantly having thoughts that your living situation is unhealthy, maybe take the time to change your living situation. If you're constantly having negative thoughts that this relationship is not a reflection of your truth and that you're not being appreciated, maybe separate from the relationship. And instead of attacking basically yourself for the thoughts that you're having, just look at them like, I can take it, I can remind myself, like I said in point number 4, that I can remind myself that I'm not those thoughts. But also on the other spectrum of that, it's, well, how are these thoughts actually creating my reality? How am I letting them create me? And are they creating me, or are they just there and I've already created that? Is the bad habit already there and the thoughts are just reminding me of the bad habit? Is the bad relationship already there and the thoughts are just reminding me of the bad habit? So I don't want to face the thoughts because I don't want to face the reality. In order to change that, you have to change yourself, change your mentality, change your habits, change the things that are connected to those thoughts that because inevitably, let's be honest, let's keep it real. We know the thoughts that literally hold no value. Even if we kind of believe them, we know the thoughts that are just like neurotic and just aren't helping us, aren't serving us, making us feel low, making us feel like our shadow. We know those thoughts, even if we don't want to fully acknowledge that because we're still working through self-worth or things like that. We know those negative thoughts that are just trying to bring us down because that's just what we've experienced in our life, right? But then there are those thoughts that do have a little bit of truth. And this is coming back to my point. My tip number 1 is reflect upon those thoughts that are triggering you so intensely. Why are they triggering you so intensely? Because if someone were to say something to you so like off the wall, you would just be like, like that has nothing to do with me. I don't even care, because it just doesn't even make any sense, right? But if you believe it, that's when you have to look at yourself. You don't look at that person. You look at you and you're like, well, why? Why am I so deeply affected by this? And if so, now it's me taking the responsibility and accountability to change and say, hey, this is not going to define me. Like I said in my other previous points, this is not going to define me. I can make a change because this is my life. I'm in the driver's seat and I'm controlling the vehicle. So if I decide that I want to make a change, I can make a change. And all those changes are going to look so different because we're each individuals, but make that change. Make those changes that are necessary. Break those bad habits, end those bad relationships, move out of the place that's toxic, leave that horrible job that you know is toxic, follow your dreams, follow your path, instead of believing that these are all negative thoughts, and maybe they're thoughts speaking truth that you don't want to hear. Oh, did you feel that? That was a little sting right there. That was a little sting. But it's the truth. Because there are negative thoughts, like I said. Did you hear that car? A car just honked. Confirmation. But, like I was saying, there's a difference between the thoughts that are literally just bizarre, and then there's a difference between the thoughts that we want to ignore. Create that boundary line, be able to differentiate between the two, and then make the healthy changes. So I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed my 5 tips on how to manage and combat your negative thoughts. I hope that even if all of them resonated or just one, I hope that you found what connected with you the most, so you can take more control of your reality and of your life and of yourself, and release and rise into your potential, because your negative thoughts are not a reflection of your potential, but they can be a reflection of where you can go once you heal them. So thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Make sure to check me out on all social media. All of that will be in the description box below. And make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video. More content coming soon. I have new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So make sure to tune in for that. I love you guys so much. Peace.